I'm about to hike up that mountain in these shoes, and then I'm gonna run down the other side, swim through the lake, right back to this starting point. But before I do that, I wanna see why we even need barefoot shoes. So I'm gonna hike to the base completely barefoot, starting right now. And I'll be very honest, I'm sure most of us can understand why people started wearing shoes. For one, we live in different environments. I'm currently in the UK. It's April, it's pretty cold. The ground at the minute is grass, but to get here, I was walking through all this shingle and sharp rock, and it was pretty uncomfortable. As you spend more time barefoot, yes, you build up calluses, yes, you build up fat pads, but as I've been in Indonesia and Australia for the past 6 months, walking on nothing but sweet, sweet sand, it's safe to say my body is not accustomed to it. But a deal is a deal. So if barefoot's bad, why are barefoot shoes good? Let me explain. Firstly, your shoes are messing up your feet. The cushion, the heels, the narrow toe boxes that we see every day on normal hiking boots, running shoes, office shoes, well, they stop your feet moving the way that they've evolved to over thousands of years. It's a little bit like wearing a cast on your foot. It's awesome for fixing a specific problem, but terrible long term because they cause the atrophy, which is the shrinking of very important muscles in your lower body, which can then cause knee pain, back pain, hammer toes, bunions, a bit like how your arms would start getting very small and noodly if you didn't train them for years and years and years. So if barefoot's generally uncomfortable, why is barefoot good? Well, because before phones, before cars or concrete, our ancestors lived like this. Millions of years of bioengineering gave us a spring-like arch, it gave us muscles for stability, for strength protection, even fat pads and calluses to protect us from the rocks, twigs and thorns, which I don't have yet. But eventually we moved away from the lush green plains into harsher and harsher environments, just like this. So we started strapping protective leather pads to our soles, which were the very first shoes. And after walking a mile barefoot to get here, and then a mile in barefoot shoes, and avoiding what I'm pretty sure was foot hypothermia, I was very ready to do the same thing. The problem is that when we started designing shoes, we really overshot the mark. So our shoes got more and more complicated and cushioned, our toes got more and more squished together, and eventually we've ended up with shoe-shaped feet instead of feet-shaped shoes. But luckily after a while, some really smart people saw this spike in common ailments that didn't exist in non-shod or non-shoe wearing populations like the Samora, and in came a new wave of feet-shaped shoes, which we know today as barefoot shoes. And if you want to find out a little bit more about that, you can check out this video that I did up here. Now, the calling card of barefoot shoes are pretty straightforward. They are zero drop, they've got a wide toe box, and they have got a lot of ground feel. But that's not all. Either by design or by blind luck, they've started becoming really, really special. Take these that I'm wearing today, for example, the new Hydra ESCs from VivoBarefoot. Most shoes serve a single function. A hiking shoe hikes, a running shoe runs, an office shoe offices. You certainly wouldn't want to be hiking, walking and swimming all in the same pair, but with this one, you can. There we go. Made it to the top. And what a view. So now I've got to run back down. Ooh. And I suspect that the reason for that is very simple. The Adidases, the Nikes, the Ons of the world, they've got to waste really valuable time and research hours thinking more about the shape and the style of the shoe that they're creating to do one thing while not straying too far away from the self-imposed aesthetic ideals that they've actually created in the first place. And they're now bound to it because if they tread away from it, they're going to be treading on the toes of other products in their lineup. Oh, a little breather. Just come down from up here. Whereas the new barefoot brands, things like Vivo, Freet, Zero, all those guys, they're not bound by such petty things. That's simply because the shape of the shoe is the shape of the foot, and the shape of the foot is the shape of the shoe. And any deviation from that, your barefoot shoe, it just isn't anymore. It's not a barefoot shoe, which means that their research hours get spent instead dreaming up what the shoe can do for you, which in this case is a lot. They've even cemented Michelin performance soles to the bottom in an almost yobbish look at me orange that I can only assume that they've put there so that fellow trail runners or hikers can see you disappearing into the distance. They've also slapped armour onto the ventilation so no brambles prod you when you're flying through the brush. It's brilliant. And then there's its party trick, which I'll be honest, I kind of don't want to show you because I forgot my wetsuit, but such is life. Well, I'm not going to pull you a yarn and pretend that I went and swam for 3 kilometres because I didn't. I did about 3 strokes. But, oh, it's fucking cold. But what I will say, drainage on them is wicked. They're like big flippers. You kick them about. I'm going to have to come back and do another test with a wetsuit. But that'll do for right now, and hopefully you get the point. They're swim run shoes. You run in them, you can swim in them. You wouldn't do it in your office shoes, but you can do them in these. So, dried off a bit and I'm a bit warmer now, so I've cheered up. Long story short, because these have been built to be thin and flexible, they drain really, really, really well. So it's no surprise that they've marketed these as a swim run shoe, but at the same time, like most other barefoot shoes out there, there are a lot more than that. They're trail shoes, they're hiking shoes, they're gym shoes. They really kind of remind me of something ridiculous, like a Land Rover Defender that some wizard has wedged a 6-litre V8 into, but somehow made to work. And that's really the genius of barefoot shoes and sport. Once you've done the work to be able to wear them, which I'll talk about in a moment, the barrier to entry for pretty much everything seems to be generally heading higher and higher. Suddenly begins to start going down. Hiking, for example, which should by all accounts be free, can run you into the thousands in gear costs. It's not uncommon to hear people going through 2, 3, 4 pairs of boots before deciding on a pair because they weren't right for their feet and they kept getting blisters. Same with trail running or tennis or golf or frisbee. Our current norm is to be squeezed like an empty tube of toothpaste to buy one product that does one thing. And while that may still be the case with everything but footwear, freeing yourself from the confines of shoe-shaped feet for feet-shaped shoes breaks that cycle. I pretty much guarantee I could get any pair of barefoot shoes, which I own, which for the record is a lot, and do the same thing that I've done here today and then go and play a round of golf or walk around town or whatever in more comfort than any other sport-specific shoe out there. So does that mean that you should be running off to buy your first pair of barefoot shoes? Well, yes, and if you do, make sure you use the channel's discount code in the description below for 10% off all Vivo products. But also, no, it's not for everybody. There's definitely some things that I wish I'd known right at the very start when I got my first pair all those years ago. One, I wish I'd taken it easier at the start. There's literally no rush. If you're used to cushioning, then you take it all away, it is going to hurt and your body's going to take time to adapt to it. Like I said about the cast, when you take your arm out of the cast after breaking it, you have this weird, pale, unmuscly appendage that can barely hold a glass of water properly. Your foot will be the same, so definitely don't go crazy. Replace all of your shoes overnight and perhaps just start off by wearing them for a walk in the morning or every other day. 2, you can definitely accelerate your process from normal to natural feet with some toe spacers or just some straightforward toe socks. Normal socks have got elastic around the toe which pulls them in together, so doing something about that now will definitely help speed up your transition time. I did a video on that which you can check out up here. And then 3, even with 1 and 2, your Achilles and your calf are going to get tight. So make sure you stretch them out, get a ball into them. If you've got massage guns, stick that in there. I did a video on the 5 essential barefoot exercises that you need to be able to stay injury free. Thank me later. Hands down though, this is one of the best things I've ever done and I can't see myself ever going back to normal shoes. So slap subscribe for more hyper niche barefoot content. Hit me up in the comments with any questions that you've got, and all subscribers get automatically entered into my $1,000 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So support the channel, but otherwise thanks for watching. See you again soon. Peace and love.